But final instructions being given to all the players. I think Ruben Amorim actually might have had a little chuckle if he'd seen the consternation he caused in this press box when the team sheet first came out. Lots of people
shouting
at each other.
I knew it was a back three, and so did George.
Okay, there was lots of who's right side is centre back. Is it Casemiro? Is it Dalot? Who's the left wing back? This is what we've got. Andre Onana in goal. Mazraoui looks like he's going to play on the right of the three. De Ligt in the middle. Johnny Evans left-sided centre-back. Your two wing-backs will be Amad Diallo and Diogo Dalot. Casemiro and Eriksen as the two central midfielders. And then Bruno Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho in support of Marcus Rashford. So Rashford gets the nod up front. It was interesting to hear Amorim speak just before the game here, talking about a lot of the players he's gone with are the ones he's had the most time with on the training pitch. So Rashford, for example, not involved in international football, more time to work with him. What an opportunity to start. Let's not forget there is another team involved here. Ipswich coming into this one off the back of their first win of the season away at Tottenham. Just one change for them. Wes Burns starts and it's Ben Johnson who drops out.
Mark Schwarzer, the former Fulham goalkeeper, is alongside us this afternoon. Mark, what Ali just mentioned there about Ruben Amorim saying that he is playing players he spent the most time with, does it just show the way his brain works? It's logic, it's maths, it's simple.
Well, especially when you want to change the system. That makes complete sense, doesn't it? When you want to play with a back three, you need to be able to work with players, instill the information that you have, the sort of style of football that you want to play. You have to give them all the information, as much of that time on the pitch as well spent going through it, being drilled day in, day out. And I think those players that have mostly been at the club during international break have benefited from that. That's why we see the lineup we're going to see today.
Delighted to say that Laurie Whitwell, Manchester United correspondent for The Athletic, joins us here high up in our position in the West Stand at Portman Road. And Laurie, just looking across, I'm watching Manchester United warm up for this fixture. What have you made of it so far? There's not much you can take from it apart from your own observations.
Yeah, I mean, the positional play of the players was the most interesting thing. We were all scratching our heads a little bit about where everyone would play. Thankfully, some clarity has been given to us, and also Amorim saying before the game that these players that he's been able to work with, that's why he's gone with certain players. Casemiro in midfield, for example, I think everyone thought Ugarte or Mainey would play. That's why he's gone with him. Really fascinating to see how much they've been able to pick up in the training this week, and whether or not they're going to execute his plans to the T that they want.
You look at some of the players in that squad, and a lot of people will criticise those who maybe let Erik ten Hag down at the end of his tenure and during his tenure. I'm looking at Marcus Rashford and thinking, is this an opportunity for redemption, an opportunity for a fresh start?
I certainly think that Rashford has fell under Erik ten Hag in this second season. He drifted away from the positions where he was able to do his most damage. So Rasmus Højlund coming into the team sort of put him more out to the left, which I know that he can do a lot of effective work cutting in from the left, but I think he likes to be a little bit more central than he was playing. So up top, he's played there before. He's actually scored quite a few of his goals in Erik ten Hag's best season from that position. Can he do the kind of role that Ruben Amorim wants him to do up front in this system?
Laureate, hold fire. We've got a goal at Swansea. Molly Stevens.
Swansea City 2, Leeds United 2. Leeds score through a Benkabango own goal. The Swansea defender's absolutely kicking himself. He slaps the floor in frustration. Daniel James crossed the ball to his left, looking for a teammate to poke it in. Instead, Kabango got on it and he went into the back of the net. Swansea 2, Leeds 2.
Atmosphere ramping up here at Portman Road. Let's hear from the new Manchester United head coach, Ruben Amorim. Have United finally found the manager that can bring the glory years back to Old Trafford?
Of course, I am not the best person in here to show the history of Manchester United. It should be the club first and try to focus our players in the history of the club, not the recent history. So you have to be very demanding. This is a club that needs to win, have to win. So we have to show that. But it's a different time. I cannot be the same guy that Sir Alex Ferguson was. It's a different time. I have to have a different approach, so I can be ruthless when I have to be. If you think as a team, I will be the nicest guy that you have ever seen. If there is someone just thinking at himself, I will be a different person. And I'm not like that kind of guy that wants to show that he's a boss. They will feel it in the small details. that I can be the smiling one, but then when we have a job to do, I will be a different person, and they understand that.
First press conference. How impressed were you by his PR, the way he carries himself, the way he operates?
Very impressive. I mean, I suppose it's easy in a way to come in with this fresh face and be positive. You've not worked with these players before. You obviously come in from a position at Sporting where you had great success, so you're in a positive frame of mind. But I do feel that he had a confidence to him that was really authentic, and also a humility to him that I think will have endeared him to a lot of players as well as fans, because he wasn't sort of trashing what has come before. He was accepting that it's a difficult job to do. I suppose he's also giving himself a little bit of a get out if it doesn't work out straight away for him. But I do feel like there's a real warmth to him, whilst at the same time clearly he's going to have to make some big decisions.
A lot of people commenting that from day one, his communication style, how legible he is in communication, it's miles ahead of what Erik ten Hag offered.
Yeah, I have some sympathy for Erik ten Hag. I think he was a better communicator. And the scenes than what he projected in a press conference. But that being said, clearly his strength was, I suppose, tactical work. Amorim has got that personal touch. I mean, I've seen firsthand the connection that he's got with his Sporting fans, with his Sporting players. He was submerged by his players when they came back from 2-0 down to beat Braga. And that was, okay, it's a win. They want to celebrate it, but equally he's leaving the midway through a season. But there wasn't any bitterness. It was clearly a strong connection that he's got with his fans and his players there, and they're happy to see him go.
Ali, you've been on the football circuit for a while. What do you make of these comparisons of him being the new Mourinho, the 2024 edition of Mourinho?
Well, the other thing I was just going to add to what Laurie has said there, I think he looks like he's really enjoying it. Now, as Laurie says, that's quite easy to do in a way, because we've not even played any football yet, and he has warned that it won't all be plain sailing, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this first 90 minutes turns out, against the team sitting in the bottom three. But I think Ipswich are going to come flying out of the blocks at Manchester United today. One of the things I think, Aaron, he has been totally and utterly clear about what he is going to do, how he's going to try and do it, what he expects from his players, and what he thinks he can achieve at Manchester United. There will be no excuses. It will take a bit of time. I think there's real excitement amongst the fan base about the appointment, and I can see why. I really can see why. And you look at what he managed to achieve at Sporting, and I know Manchester United, really has in recent years chewed up and spat managers out. But you look at what he's done there. He's got a chance here. I know we've said that before, but I think if I was a Manchester United fan, I would think this looks like a really good appointment.
Laurie, no matter what, those fans tucked under that low-slung roof opposite us in the Cobbold, they will back him. They will back him all the way to the end, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, they stuck with Erik ten Hag for the large part. I mean, even towards the end, no fans sort of turned on him. It was kind of a bit, I suppose, apathetic at the end, but a lot of people, had faith in him because of the trophies that he'd won. This group of fans, they always back the manager, and I do touch on Ali's point there, that the way that he's composed himself, the kind of messages he's giving, the strength that he's showing as well, I think they really want to buy into that, and they really do hope that he can be the guy that can break what's been going on, the cycle of lack of success.
Laurie, great having you with us on 5 Live Sport this afternoon. Go and take your seat, because I think this place is about to explode with noise. We are going to head to Twickenham. Try James Burridge.
England 7, Japan 0, and Benel has scored underneath the sticks after a wonderful line out from England and a devastating, incisive line from Ollie Lawrence right through the heart of Japan. Earl on the shoulder after Smith orchestrated the entire move. England 7, Japan 0, 12 minutes gone.
Just watching Calvin Phillips and a couple of the other Ipswich substitutes heading down towards the dugout in front of us. We are high up in the West Stand, and Ali just picking up on Ipswich. It's all about building on momentum now. That win before the break was huge, but the break came at the wrong time for them.
Did a little bit, Aaron. They played really well at Tottenham to get that win. No one expected them to get it. They've been in most games this season. They've carried on their form they've brought through League One, through the Championship, into the Premier League. It has been tough for them. They always knew it was going to be, but they're certainly not out of touch. They start today in the bottom 3 on 8 points. But a win today takes them out of the bottom 3. And actually, the battle of the managers is a fascinating one, isn't it? Because actually, Kieran McKenna's a year younger than Ruben Amorim, so everyone's making a big play. I know Manchester United's a different stage to Ipswich Town, but here's a man, Kieran McKenna, who has done a fair bit of coaching on the touchline at Manchester United, knows the club well, was linked with the club in the summer when they were talking about a potential replacement for Erik ten Hag, and now he comes up against the new man, Ruben Amorim. And I do think Ipswich will sense an opportunity here, Aaron. I do think, given new system, given how little time Amorim has had, but given how wed he is to the system, Ipswich will try and pounce on any uncertainties, any miscommunication, any frailties early on in this game.
Well, I was just about to ask you that, Mark. I mean, Ipswich will come flying out of the traps, no doubt. They love playing with pace, with adventure, with passion. They're willing to take risks. How do you balance it, risk versus reward, against a Manchester United side who will be playing 3-4-3 for the first time?
Well, you've got to have control. Yeah, you've got to go out there with the understanding that you can obviously change a game. You can dictate a game in the opening minutes. You can change the course of the game by the way you approach a game, definitely. But then also, if it doesn't happen in those opening minutes, that you don't lose sight of the goal, sight of the game plan. Stick to the game plan. And make sure you see the game out, because there are times where you can actually get a little bit ahead of yourself, a little bit too overexcited, a little bit too anxious, and then it can go horribly wrong for you. I think Ipswich will be cool, calm. They know they'll have to come out quick. They know they'll test Manchester United really early because they're in a new system, new manager. It's the perfect time to come up against them. Ipswich are at home. They're buoyed from their recent win away at Spurs. And now there's an opportunity for them to sit down a bit of a marker. If they win today, they're out of the bottom 3. They've got a little bit of breathing space. That's a big, big game for them today.
This place really was a fortress and has been a fortress for 2 years for Ipswich. When was the last time you played there, Mark?
Oh gosh, it wasn't like it is today, that's for sure. So it was quite some time ago, and I can't even tell you exactly when. I definitely was with Middlesbrough quite a long time ago.
Very, very special place to play football, Portman Road. The 2 stands dedicated to 2 legends of the English game, Sir Bobby Robson to our left, Sir Alf Ramsey to our right, absolutely cavernous. And this West Stand, which has had a bit of a makeover, but over on the other side, Ipswich Town Football Club in white letters on that black background of the Cobbold Stand. The Manchester United fans, 3,000 of them, making a load of noise, ready to welcome their new manager, Ruben Amorim. The teams are in the tunnel. Sam Morsey about to lead Ipswich Town out. Before I hand you to your commentary team, I am going to say, let's head to Twickenham, try the rugby, James Burridge.
A second try for England. Sam Underhill has added to the earlier try from Ben Earl, crashing over to the right of the post, converted by Marcus Smith. Underhill has injured himself, though, in the process. He's been substituted, but it's been all England. 14-0, 15 gone.
And as we've become accustomed to, there are flamethrowers, there are fireworks, pyrotechnics galore over on the far side to welcome out the 2 teams, Ipswich Town and Manchester United. And we're waiting for our first look at the new United head coach, Ruben Amorim, strolling down the touchline as Kieran McKenna takes the applause of all 4 sides of Portman Road. And there he is, the Manchester United head coach in all black, just strolling down, hands in pockets, his 2 assistant coaches behind him. My word, what an occasion this is. This is 5 Lives Premier League Sunday, the home of the Premier League. Portman Road will bring the noise. Mark Schwarzer and Alistair Bruce Ball will no doubt deliver you some action.
Well, that is a proper Portman Road Premier League welcome for the new Manchester United manager. The time for talk is over. Ruben Amorim has arrived, walks across the Ipswich Town technical area, embraces the young Ipswich Town manager, Kieran McKenna. The 2 teams are out on the field. The flames have been thrown up in the air. The acrid smoke drifting away on the night sky. Portman Road is absolutely packed and buzzing, and Ruben Amorim, the 6th permanent appointment since Sir Alex Ferguson left Old Trafford, following in the footsteps of David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Erik ten Hag, the new Manchester United manager, starts his Premier League career at Portman Road. And the Manchester United players, his first starting 11, have taken off the tracksuit tops. Final instructions have been delivered. Red shirts, black shorts and white socks, with Ipswich Town in the very familiar blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. It is going to be a fascinating 90 minutes ahead, Mark Schwartz, and just to see how much he's been able to do in his very short time so far at Old Trafford.
Yeah, it will be, and I think that's the big thing about today's performance. It'll be about how much have the players been able to take on board, how much are they able to implement those tactics early on. Interestingly, Marcus Rashford playing through the middle, up front. That's going to be interesting to see how he performs. Can he deliver? Obviously been criticised during the week as well for being away out of the country. Yeah. And, you know, there's so much riding on this, so much pressure on Manchester United. I know we've talked a lot about Manchester United in the build-up, and there's a big reason for it. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They're not where they should be. But Ipswich Town, I feel if I were in Ipswich Town's group now, I'd be thinking, this is genuinely a good opportunity for us. Yeah. We could actually get a good result here today. We could actually win this game. And it's all about how they implement themselves, how they apply their tactics on Manchester United, and don't give them any breathing space. Be on top of them. Really shut them down and put them under a lot of pressure.
Two captains, Sam Morsey and Bruno Fernandes, in the centre circle. They've had the coin toss. Sam Morsey in his blue shirt, white shorts.
And this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
United this afternoon, and they've not started how they would have wanted. Rashford comes in for criticism for his output. There's a lot of expectation on his shoulders, but maybe the new manager is the man to get more goals out of him. 81 seconds the official time on the goal, and Ipswich will have to come out and play now to find a way back as Rashford puts pressure on Twanzebe. They'll be familiar with each other, of course. Twanzebe spent 15 years at Manchester United, came through the youth team there, made 19 Premier League appearances before moving on in the summer. All spells at Napoli and Stoke and Aston Villa. Here he is on the right hand side, and he's invited to go outside by Garnacho. Ipswich settle the ball back down with Burns to Sam Morsey, who's the captain for Ipswich. Burns tries to get away from Garnacho. Ipswich forced all the way back into their own half. Morsey again passes inside to Pius. Now the driver forward is Hutchinson. Manchester United happy to just sit behind the ball at the moment and see what Ipswich can bring. There's a couple of blue balloons on the pitch, hoping that they don't cause any drama as we've seen in the Premier League in the past. There's Morsey getting plenty of touches of the ball, passes out to the left hand side to find Davis, and it comes back across to O'Shea. And now Twanzebe. Ipswich just calming things down after that nightmare start for them. Hutchinson puts inside on his left foot, plays it back. Now they go down the left hand side to have a look, and Davies gets to the byline, forces a corner, blocked by Diallo, the man who set up the goal. And nice patient bit of play there from Ipswich to retain possession, and they forced a set piece that they'll be hoping to take advantage of. And up from the back for this one. 5 minutes on the clock. Ipswich Town 0, Manchester United 1. left foot corner is headed away by Casemiro, only as far as Morsey. The ball clipped in, it's a poor cross, and Evans, despite slipping, is able to poke it away. Rashford leading the press for Manchester United, and they're forcing Ipswich back. Swansea finds O'Shea on the right hand side. He passes inside to Amara Hutchinson, who shows too much of it to Christian Eriksen. The keep ball is over for Ipswich, and the ball is back with Manchester United. Mazraoui, who's playing perhaps more on the right hand side rather than on the left as predicted. Looks like Dalot is the man who's gone over onto that left wing back sort of role. Here he is, Dalot beats his man down the left hand side and then picks out a nice pass to Bruno Fernandes, who doesn't quite bring it in, but manages to feed it out to Diallo, who's backing Davies into the box again. Similar position to where he ran for the first goal. Instead he pulled it back this time for Eriksen, who hits it well and wasn't on target. Muric was relatively unmoved. It sailed a couple of yards wide of his right hand post, but Diallo is backing Davies back into the box each time he gets the ball in an attacking position. Eriksen didn't quite get the contact he wanted on the shot. Eriksen, one of 4 Manchester United players who started in Erik ten Hag's first game in charge, which was a 2-1 defeat to Brighton in 2022. Ipswich come forward now with Burns, who puts an early ball in, and Smodjic couldn't quite get his foot round the ball, and it sails into the crowd behind the goal. Hutchinson showing some nice touches for Ipswich in the early exchanges. Between the lines of Manchester United. So far, Andre Onana untested in the Manchester United goal as Mazraoui brings the ball out of his own penalty area, plays it across to Johnny Evans. First time pass to Bruno Fernandes as Manchester United keep possession of the ball, albeit in their own third of the pitch. Onana will clip it long towards the halfway line, looking for Rashford, who eases off his man, but the ball goes beyond him, and O'Shea is able to play it back to his own goalkeeper. Now it's Manchester United's time to try and press, and that's Johnny Evans leading the press there on Hutchinson, who's turned right away from him well. Nice low centre of gravity from Hutchinson, and he feeds it down the right hand side for Wes Burns. A few United players out of position here. Wes Burns fizzes in a low cross. It was ahead of Delap and it was ahead of Smodjic. Maybe Ipswich a bit more, they committed a few more men there, got on the end of that, but good play from Hutchinson. Evans tried to lead the press from Manchester United and was turned a bit too easily by Hutchinson, who then set Burns away down the right hand side. Long throw being prepared by Ipswich now on the far side. In it comes, headed out by Casemiro. Happy to just sit in, got the goal lead, and Ipswich got to break them down, and they seem quite content to sit in there. I think other than the goal, I think Ipswich would have been relatively content with the pattern of the game so far. They've had probably more of the ball, moved it around relatively well, just without creating anything too clear cut. They've lost the ball there though, and that's a nice sharp pass by Eriksen to Bruno Fernandes, and there's runners here for Marcus Rashford. He's got Garnacho on his left. Ball's a bit behind Garnacho, has to go back and fetch it. He settles it down to Dalot, and maybe United now will just keep the ball themselves with Evans and give Dillick to touch in the centre circle. Mazraoui on the right hand side. It's 22 years since Manchester United last played at Portman Road. 1-0 win. Ruud van Nistelrooy, the only goal scorer on that occasion. Did his status amongst the Manchester United fan base no harm with his performance as interim manager. Part of the backroom team, Ruud Amorim. His arrival from Sporting Lisbon. It's Casemiro. to Rashford, tries to lay it off, but Morsey is busy and wins it back, and there's some space for Cameron Burgess to find Davis. Now Mari Hutchinson again in a bit of room. He's shifted it onto Burns, who's got space on the right hand side, and he pulls it back, and Smosdic arrives late, hits it well, and Onana's got down really well to make a smart stave. Got two hands on it, but Hutchinson and Burns finding a lot of space there, and Burns found a nice pass to Smosdic, arriving to hit it first time. It's a nice height for the goalkeeper, probably a bit too central, the shot, maybe further towards the corner might have caused more of a problem for Onana. It's the first save either goalkeeper has had to make in this match, which is 11 minutes old. It's Town Hill, Manchester United 1. With O'Shea, who relegated from the Premier League with Burnley last season. Bit of a spin on the ball there, kept it in. I think both Dallow and Burns were expecting it to go out, and in the end it worked for Dallow because he was the one who was able to come out with possession once the ball did stay in play. There's Dallow, who was mentioned Ericsson before. Dallow was one of the other three players that played in that first game under Erik ten Hag, the two being Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. Hutchinson loses the ball to Dallow. Hutchinson's perhaps a player that is just finding a bit of room. Evans is maybe starting to come out in the back three a little bit just to track Hutchinson, such as United's worry about the positions he's taking up. He's sort of getting away from Christian Eriksen. Potential to cause some problems as Masraoui has the ball at right centre back and uses Dillett to his left and to Johnny Evans. Pushing header from Shea. Ipswich back on the ball with Burns, who's put a couple of decent balls in to the box in these early exchanges. Morsey possession now, running around the ball for Manchester United at the moment. I'm wondering if Ipswich can open them up. Rashford, referees asked them to stop the ball for the free kick until they do. Smosdic plays it back to Burgess. Back to Smosdic, who joined Ipswich from Blackburn Rovers in the summer. Shep to Twanzebe. Fighting forward. He's got Burns in front of him. Garnacho comes back and tracks. Initially pokes the ball away from Hutchinson. Helps out. That's a loose pass from O'Shea. So Manchester United have a throw on the halfway line. Ipswich and Manchester United, the game remembered for one of the biggest scorelines in the Premier League history. Man United beating Ipswich 9-0 in 1995, albeit of course at Old Trafford. They've never won, well, they've not won back-to-back at Portman Road since the 60s, albeit they've played too many times in that time. There will be 22 and a bit years between the back-to-back wins if Manchester United can take this 1-0 lead they have and end it with victories. Garnacho, followed everywhere by Twanzebe early doors, manages to play a nice monsoon, tries to get away from Twanzebe and spreads the ball out right to Diallo, who again's got space to run into. Rashford gives him an option on the right. Diallo puts the ball into the middle looking for Bruno Fernandes. It's well tied up by Morsey, who's probably touched the ball more than anybody else in an Ipswich shirt. Van Mertz, the goalkeeper. United this time putting Ipswich under a bit of a press, and Dallow wins the ball back for Garnacho, who slides it across to Ericsson. Is there space for a shot? No, he passes to Rashford. Drops off for Casemiro. Now back with Johnny Evans. Casemiro outside the right boot. Not sure what he was looking for there, but didn't execute it how he would have planned. He spins through for the goalkeeper Muric. Called himself the smiling one, or he said he doesn't mind being called the smiling one. Put a nod to the special one of Jose Mourinho, but he did say that he won't be smiling too much if things don't go too well, and he'll make sure that his players know that. Facing the sidelines, 71% win ratio at Sporting. 2 league titles and 2 league cups. Dare say that to be a success as Manchester United manager, winning the league title will be something that he needs to achieve. They've of course got the Europa League this season as well, and they're in action in midweek against the Norwegian side Ipswitch. Switch on the ball with Moores, it turns away. Casemiro leaves one on him. The referee plays an advantage that isn't really there. Eventually, after a couple of tackles, Casemiro's caught on as well. I think this will be an Ipswich free kick, to be honest. I'm not sure there was an advantage, enough of an advantage there. Deeming that advantage had gone on until the second foul was indeed the one that was punished as Delap tries to chase down De Ligt. Dalot hooks the ball away. It's a nice curving pass. It might sit up nicely for Garnacho. Good first touch, takes him away from Swansea. He's got Rashford in support. Bruno Fernandes is there on the edge of the box. Good first touch by Fernandes. Now he sets it for Garnacho to curl a shot right footed. Just a couple of yards wide of Muric's left-hand post, and the goalkeeper had it covered. Well, a nice pass from Dalot. Not sure whether it was more of a clearance than anything else, but the curl that he got on the ball with his right foot just found a bit of space in behind the Ipswich right back, and Garnacho was able to run into it, get a shot away. Scored, of course, in Manchester United's last game, that 3-0 win over Leicester City. For 3 points, so they don't lose further ground on them top in the European places, certainly, which must be probably the first thought in Room's mind to get United in contention for those places. A win today by a couple of goals should lift them up to 9th in the table. There's a bit of an injury here and the ball's gone out of play. I think Diallo just took a awkward looking foul there, awkward looking challenge. Just got on the toe from Burgess. Received a bit of treatment. Too clever Diallo, and maybe a little bit of a stoppage here as the United players come over to take on some instruction from Mourinho. Of the United goal, whether Diallo actually miscued his ball in for Rashford. Rashford got there ahead of the goalkeeper, but right foot Diallo. I'm not sure whether he opened it up as much as he wanted to, but it got the desired result. David Moyes, Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are all one away from home in their first games in charge. Moyes at Swansea, Mourinho at Bournemouth and Solskjaer at Cardiff. And so far, with 20 minutes gone, Amorim's on his way to replicating their achievements. Ipswich Town 0, Manchester United 1. Ball back in play then with Diallo on the sideline. Looks like it's going to be okay to continue. Mazraoui brings it out from the back for Manchester United. With the 13th goal Manchester United have scored in the league this season, that one from Rashford, and this is the 12th game, so scoring goals has been an issue. Particularly considered they scored 3 in the last match, so it was an even bigger issue before that win. Swansea finds Moores in a bit of space, tries to get away from Casemiro. He does find a bit of space on the right hand side now, looking for options to cross. Casemiro doesn't leave him alone. Finds Hutchinson, who cuts in onto the left foot, measures a ball in left footed. It's headed out by Diallo back on the pitch after that knock. Falls for Garnacho, he almost turns into trouble. It's a free kick off Moores, who he didn't make contact with Garnacho. Referee's not interested, he's blown his whistle for the free kick anyway. Certainly Garnacho made the most of it. A few rolls on the floor after the challenge. There was a great deal in it. Ipswich themselves have only scored 12 goals in their 11 games. They've got 5 draws from their 11 so far, not one win over Tottenham, which looks even more impressive given Tottenham's win at Manchester City last night. Ipswich did have to go on a run of 4 straight wins after beating Tottenham 2-1 the last time they were in the Premier League. They've got work to do if they're going to repeat that this season, because they're 1-0 down here. They have had a couple of half chances since falling behind after just 81 seconds. It's Swansea in the centre circle for Ipswich. Simorsey listening to the feet of Dillap, who slides it across to Swansea, back to Morsey again. To Hutchinson. Certainly now he's being patrolled by Johnny Evans pretty much wherever he goes. He's been identified as a bit of a threat. He's managed to get away from Johnny Evans here, and he skips inside Casemiro. Poor pass though from Hutchinson, intercepted by Johnny Evans, who is now giving it back. But Burns has it on the right hand side. Diallo goes across to shut him down. Swansea visiting to Hutchinson, probably had more time than he thought. Nice bit of football there by Ipswich. Monster's ball a little too heavy for Swansea, but he rescues it. Burns puts a cross in, and a little bit of confusion in the Manchester United defence, and it goes behind off Christian Eriksen for an Ipswich corner. The right hand side has looked like a potential source of something for Ipswich. Burns finding space. Hutchinson tending to hover around the right hand side more often than not. Davis with an in-swinging left-footed corner from the Ipswich right. In it comes. Onana catches on the full, and he looks to maybe set United off on a counter-attack here with Garnacho. Garnacho drives forward. He's got Rashford making a run right through the middle as well. We'll track it back from Smosdic, and he wins the ball back and tries to set Ipswich away up the other end. Onana's coming way off his line. The ball comes around in his penalty area and he claims, but good tracking back from Smosdic. International, the best of times against England last week. The now former interim England manager Lee Carsley in the crowd this afternoon. Thomas Tuchel will take charge of the next England game in 2025. The international breaks are over for this calendar year. terms of Amorim taking charge now. He won't get a week off until at least February, unless of course United do get knocked out of the Europa League, which I'm sure isn't on the agenda. So the games will come thick and fast as Dallo comes on left hand side, finds Garnacho, shows good strength, so does Morsing. He wins the ball back, Burns plays it all the way back to Burgess, who makes use of O'Shea, the Ireland international of course. The ball's now back at the feet of Muric. Space, and he goes out right to Diallo. It's Ipswich's turn to get every man behind the ball and watch Manchester United have some of the ball. Diallo with a sweeping right foot action of his. Ball to nowhere, cedes possession back to Ipswich now. Hutchinson, nice turn, gets him away from Johnny Evans and springs Ipswich forward with Delap, who strides through the midfield. Ericsson comes across it, ball flicks up. There's a collision between Evans and Delap, and the referee has given a free kick to Ipswich in a dangerous position here. 20 yards or so out from goal. Pretty much on the D, the edge of the penalty area. Evans, Delap was predicting the contact, and it came. It was all again caused by a nice turn by Hutchinson. All the way, just to find some space. And this is a chance for Ipswich from the set piece. Central, Hutchinson stood over it at the moment. There's a bit of conference going on now, deciding no doubt who will take it. Chelsea made a permanent move to Ipswich, having spent some time on loan. Can he find his first goal of the season, if it indeed is going to be him? With a left-footed free kick, he steps up, curls it well, straight at Onana though. Decided to sort of go to the right of the wall rather than up and down. Now here's Dallo. Shows it inside to Burns, then goes on the outside. Burns trapped back with him. The ball now goes back to Johnny Evans, who slides it across to Mazraoui. Inside to Bruno Fernandes, who's quite by his standards in the game so far. There's a nice pass to Ericsson, who's got space to drive into. Garnacho's making a good run inside Burns. Ericsson slides it back out to Dallo, who'll cross in right footed into a good area, but it was a simple catch for Muric. Half an hour on the clock. Ipswich Town 0, Manchester United 1. Rashford's goal in just the second minute of the match. The difference between the two sides. Foul there by Ericsson initially, and then Mazraoui went through Schmozdic. shirt sponsor is Ed Sheeran. It's useful to have celebrity fans, no doubt, to take up the sponsorship. I'm a minority shareholder in the club as well. Slides out to Swansea into Davis now. Swansea getting to Morsey. Sam Morsey plays a 1-2, then finds Hutchinson. It's on his left foot. Hutchinson goes out wide to Burns, who's got Dallow one-on-one, decides not to try and go at him. The ball's recycled back. Trying to keep in their shape. Watching Ipswich play the ball around in front of them. Just that one save of note really for Andre Onana so far from Smosdic's first time effort. Burns whips across in, it's blocked by Evans, and it's another Ipswich corner. Hoping to make something of this one. It's their third of the game. And again it with Davis, who goes to take. Footed. Much deeper this time. It's headed back across goal and it's half cleared. Hutchinson strikes it. It's well blocked by Dallow. Juric gathers the ball on halfway, plays it back forward to Davis, who heads it into Smosdic, who can't quite bring it down how he would have liked. Casemiro is able to clear, and he gives Rashford something to chase. Good covering from Sam Morsey. But Ipswich asks questions from that set piece. Delivered towards the back post for Burgess, who peeled off. He headed it into a dangerous area, and then Hutchinson swung the left foot at it. Dallow to block it with his leg. I think Onana had it easily covered behind him had he not anyway, but should be pleased that they've asked questions there of Manchester United as Hutchinson brings the ball down. He's scampering away from Dallow now. Hughes throws himself to the floor and then puts his hand on the ball. Referee says it's a free kick, and Davis is struggling for Ipswich on the far side. He'd actually took a tumble there, and he's going to kick the ball out of play and receive some treatment. Both he and Diallo being in the wars on that far side in this first half. Trainers are looking at Davis, trying to find out where it came from. He just caught a boot from Casemiro. Casemiro was completely unintentional. Casemiro was clearing the ball and Davis ran across him and followed through. If he had proper shin pads on, probably wouldn't have felt that. He's tiny here, indeed he has. He's got them tiny little shin pads that they have on these days. I think if he had some proper shin pads on, he probably wouldn't have felt that at all. Casemiro. There's a beach ball. It rolls towards him on the touchline. The boots it out into the crowd. United will throw the ball back in and no doubt give it back to Ipswich, who emerged from a bit of a gathering they were having with Kieran McKenna. Plays it back to Muric, the Ipswich goalkeeper. That's a hard save to make in this first half. Delap comes deep, brings Delap with him and plays it forward to Smosdic. He's got Burns to his right. He slides it out to Burns. Burns tries to fizz it back across. It's blocked by Dallow. It'll come back out to Burns, who has time to measure across, which is blocked. Hutchinson regathers. Now Morsey back out to Burgess. He slides it to the left to Davis, who's back on. showing no side effects of that knock that he picked up. Referee almost gets in away, but that's a lovely pass from Bruno Fernandes. Garnacho trying to get away from Twanzebe, who's done really well to hold him up. Chance still hasn't abated for Man United. Garnacho goes down really easily. Referees having none of it. Rashford was an option potentially for Garnacho, but it was a nice pass initially from Bruno Fernandes that almost set Garnacho away. Twanzebe did well to cover him. Couple of half looks Manchester United in behind the Ipswich defence, but not being able to convert them into chances of note really. Less than 10 minutes now to half time. Plays looking like for Diallo. Digs out for Casemiro, tries to head it back to him, that would have been quite something there. Headed 1-2. Fernandes picking up the ball on the halfway line. Decides to wait for his team to get round him. He's going to stop the game here. He's on the word with both captains. Now being talked to by the fourth official as well. He's going to drop the ball again. He's going to drop the ball back to his Delip. Too sure what's happening there. Back underway. Fernandes plays it to Mazraoui, now across to Delip. Touches than another United player in this first half. He's completed all of his passes, but of course they've largely just been back to his goalkeeper or inside to Delip. As O'Shea wins an acrobatic header, but there's an offside from the near side in favour of Manchester United. With their only shot on target. That's the difference between the two sides. Ipswich have had a couple of shots of their own, but one really worth writing home about. That one from Smosditch after a bit of play from Burns and Hutchinson, being the lively players for Ipswich in the final third. Twanzebe wins it away from Garnacho, falls for Johnny Evans though, and Dallo will be able to empty from his own corner. Clips it up with Fernandes, almost being took by Burgess. Mazraoui does well to tidy up under pressure from Smosditch. Now Diallo plays it back to Mazraoui, and now Casemiro is being worked to find him space. He's going to go long here, looking for the run of Diogo Dallo, and Burns caught napping, and Dallo left-footed, can't get enough power on it. It's a shot on target, I think, just about. It was a nice raking pass from Casemiro, and Dallo had caught Burns sleeping. Just couldn't quite get any power on his shot. He's not the player that you want to be in that position if you're Manchester United, but a sign that they can find space in behind. Just puts the ball forward, and now Davis, he's trying to get him behind at the other end now. He's left Diallo at the back, and he slides in. That's a lovely pass to Delap. Oh, what a save from Onana. He should have scored, Delap. Davis there just slid the ball into space in the box, and Delap, dead centre, 8 yards out, has hammered the ball straight at Andre Onana. And that's the best chance we've seen since the goal. Former Man City man, Liam Delap, 21-year-old, who couldn't finish that chance. He's got 6 of Ipswich's 12 goals this season in the league. Should really have made it 7 there. Until half time, Ipswich Town 0, Manchester United 1. Masraoui finds Bruno Fernandes, who's seen a bit more of the ball now. It's quiet for the first half hour. Ipswich a decent press on Manchester United, and they've run the ball back via O'Shea. Here's Burns, now Sam Morsey finds Kyrgios to his left. Now Davies to the Swede. Now O'Shea. Can be fairly content with how Ipswich have played since falling behind. Now had 2 decent chances. They still feel like there's something in the game. They can move out the bottom 3 with a win, of course. Here's Kyrgios on the edge of the box, hits it left-footed. It was always rising, and it's gone over the bar. See a replay now of the Delap chance. It was a nice measured pass to get Davis in behind Diallo, and then he poked it into lovely space for Delap. It's a good save by Onana, but anywhere else in the goal, either side of Onana, it's a goal. He's hitting straight at Onana. His right arm is out. He's made himself big. He's done what a good goalkeeper should do, and it's an excellent save by Onana, but Delap will certainly want that chance back and feel like he should have done better with it. Just on the ball again. Kyrgios, the central midfield player, has got lots of room to run into. He slides across to Hutchinson. Hutchinson's got Burns to his right. He shows a bit too much of it to Dallo, who manages to get in and send Burns backwards. Now Sam Morsey slides into a gap for Hutchinson. Now it's out to Burns. Can he get a cross in from the right hand side? Instead he slides into Hutchinson. He might shoot left footed. He gets a whip on it, it's in! And Amari Hutchinson, he's been the dangerous player for Ipswich in this first half, and he's got the equaliser 2.5 minutes before the break. They've given him space too often in this first half, and that's the first time he's really had enough space in shooting range to get one away, and he's whipped a left-footed shot. Might have taken a slight nick on its way through, but it sailed into the top corner. And Ipswich Town have levelled things up. It's just got a little nick on the way through from Masraoui. I think just off his head. I'm not sure it made. Well, just looped it enough over Onana's outstretched hand. You probably have to say Ipswich probably deserved to go in at the break level if indeed that's what happened. But it's Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1. They've tried to get a grip of Hutchinson in the match. Johnny Evans had to man mark him for a spell, but he's looked threatening. And it's his first Premier League goal as well, the former Chelsea man. What a way to do it as well. For Ipswich in this first half, wins the ball back, plays a 1-2 with Burns. His touch is a little bit heavy. There's that incident where the play was stopped, by the way. There's apparently no VAR available at this game at present due to a fire alarm at Stockley Park. Which of course is the base of the video assistant referee, so if there's anything dubious going on here, there'll be nothing occurring, and that's why I don't know why they had to stop the game while it was in full throw to get that message on, but that's what they did. But there was nothing to debate about either of the two goals so far. There'll be plenty for Ruben Amorim to debate at half time with his new side. Ericsson takes to the byline, left foot cross, well headed away by Burgess, and then Burns. That's the best clearance you've seen. It's put it right and play for Mazraoui. 3 minutes added on time. Diallo shoots left footed, straight at Muric. Would have had to have been some strike from there. Muric with a wild long throw, looking for Delap, who was all on his own. Evans has gone down, clutching his face. Well, I was about to say, we've not had any controversial incidents that PAR would have needed to check, but it'd be interesting to see just what this contact was between Delap and Evans. Doesn't look like it was anything deliberate. Oh, he's just caught him with the shoulder, but it wasn't. I don't think it was intentional from William Delap. He scored 2 in the 2-2 draw against Aston Villa recently, did Delap. It was the first time that Ipswich player scored 2 since Marcus Bent back in 2002. There's the name from the past. We've had one of the additional 3 minutes, although most of that's been while Johnny Evans has been receiving treatment, so that's still got a couple of minutes to go. There's Murray Hutchinson. Interested if we could see the trajectory of that ball, where it might have ended up had Mazraoui not got a touch on it. You have to say that the nick from Mazraoui did make it, did loop it over Onana somewhat. But Ipswich won't be complaining, and neither will Hutchinson, who's been bright in this first half for Ipswich Town. Evans is back on his feet, plays back underway. Free header for Burgess. Hutchinson knocks it on, it's put away by Ericsson. Headed on by Twanzey. Now Ericsson again plays out wide to Diallo. Davis wins the header. Plays it into touch. Diallo almost falls into front row of the crowd by the advertising audience. Throws it into Ericsson. Diallo loses out to Schmostic. Chance at the end of this first half. Hutchinson netted down the line. Delap will chase, but Mazraoui will see him out. And Delap goes through the back of him, really. Then stands up to Delap, does Mazraoui. Slightly unsavoury. It's not been that sort of game, really, but just a little bit of a flashpoint there between Mazraoui and Delap. Burgess heads a long ball forward towards Delap. Now Fernandez beats his man, but Rashford was coming back from an offside position. And that might well be that at the end of the first half. Indeed it is. Well, it couldn't have got off to a much better start for Ruben Amorim as Manchester United manager. They scored within 81 seconds of his first game in charge. Marcus Rashford poking home from close range after Amad Diallo's run and pass. The home side, Ipswich, enjoyed plenty of the ball and probably the best chances too, and eventually got a goal that you have to say they probably deserved on the balance of play. 2.5 minutes before the break, Murray Hutchinson curled a left foot shot into the top corner, albeit it took a bit of a nick off Sam Mazraoui on the way through. Plenty to ponder for both sides, but half-time score at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1. the pitch there. Wind blowing the ball off, but Manchester United do have the first possession of the second half. There's Ericsson. Gets another touch from Masraoui. There's it to Diallo. Diallo playing on the right of what is effectively like a back, a sort of the middle four. 3 at the back, then 4 in front, and then Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes has a little bit more freedom behind Marcus Rashford. And here is Casemiro. That's a nice pass to Dalot, who's got in behind. Good toe from Burns, gets it away from Dalot, who retreats and finds Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes will back Moores into the box, puts a sharp pass into Garnacho, who tries to slide it across goal, and it's cleared from within the goal mouth by Burgess. I think Muric might have got a touch on that, but Manchester United, just as they did in the first half, getting in behind Ipswich early doors there. It was a clever pass from Bruno Fernandes for Garnacho, who slid it across goal. Muric did get a touch, and he was fortunately just popped up for Burgess to clear. An immediate response almost from Manchester United to that half-time team talk. Changes to either side at half time, so Ipswich with Muric in goal, Transabi, O'Shea, Burgess and Davies at the back. Morsey and Kayusta, the middle two, then Burns, Hutchinson and Schmosdic behind Liam Dillard. United have got Onana in goal, Delic, Evans and Masraoui, a back 3, Diallo, Casemiro, Ericsson and Dalot, a sort of midfield 4, and then Fernandes and Garnacho roaming behind Marcus Rashford, who scored the opening goal of the game. No Calvin Phillips for Ipswich today for unspecified reason. He was suspended for their last outing, of course, but a red card recently. Onana goes long, looking for Rashford, headed away by Burgess. Masraoui will have to trudge this. Schmosdic makes himself busy and keeps the ball away initially from Masraoui, but eventually trying to win the ball back, and Transabi to Morsey to Kayusta. Hutchinson, who was largely on the left hand side in the first half, he's on the right hand side, he's popped on the left hand side there. He will drift back over to the now far side, I'm sure. Clears and Garnacho settles it down for Christian Eriksen. Eriksen slides into Casemiro, nice flick to Bruno Fernandes. Rashford caught on his heels somewhat. Touch on the far side by Burns, who has really done his chances of retaining his space, his place in the team no harm with his performance. He's those players who's not a regular but plays most games, sometimes off the bench. Some glimpses in that first half of creating things for Ipswich Town. Masraoui beats his man nicely down the right hand side and sets United away with Diallo. He's got Garnacho to his right, he finds Garnacho. Davies gets back to hold up the Argentine. Now inside to Ericsson, to Bruno Fernandes. He's harried by Hutchinson, and in the end Evans coughs the ball up to Burns. Ericsson to Casemiro. Next week, and then they've got home games against Crystal Palace and Bournemouth to follow that. The games they'll be hoping to get points from, but they'll be keen to get points from this one. The game is finally poised as Muric finds Kayusta. Comes back to Burgess. Out from the back of Ipswich. Hutchinson's pass is too heavy for Twanzebe. Being gifted a throw 30 yards out from the Ipswich goal, end up deep in their own half. Hutchinson's been penalised for a foul on Johnny Evans. Dillon to the middle of the back three for Manchester United. Was the ball to the right channel looking for Rashford. It's headed away and first keeps it away from the red in the Manchester United midfield. Now Sam Morsey looks to his right. Burns had made a run inside, so he's not got much out there. Eventually digs out a pass to Hutchinson and now to Twanzebe. Gone in the second half. Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1. Actually won 17 of their last 19 games against newly promoted teams. They've drawn the other two. To go back to again reach Watford 2 or 3 years ago when they last lost to a newly promoted side, which of course Ipswich are. Here's Burns on the right hand side trying to find some space, drills and across. He's been allowed to go through, and that's another good save from Manada to deny Delap. Come out to Morsey, who strikes it low, and it's deflected from De Ligt out for a corner, but Burns was able to get a ball across the box, and for the second time today Andre Onana pulls off a really good stop to deny Liam Delap. It was Delap's run that half created the chance for Ipswich. Burns curled the ball and it took a deflection off Dallow, and Delap got in front of Mazraoui. Delap from a couple of yards out, denied by Onana once again. This time it was his right leg that Onana stretched out to save. Here comes the corner, headed away by Evans. Been a much maligned Andre Onana, the Cameroon international, since he's been at Manchester United, but for 2 of his interventions today, United would be behind in this game. Ipswich line up a long throw in there on their left hand side. Over the edge of the penalty area, which they it in. It's clear only far as Hutchinson. He'll try and get it on his left foot. It's charged down by Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes is eventually too strong and they rob the ball off him, and Fernandes pokes it forward to Garnacho, and Ipswich have overcommitted here, and Garnacho runs through. He's got Rashford to his right. Cayosta gets back with a superb tackle. He was the only man who could rescue Ipswich in that situation, and he did just that. Fernandes is harrying, won the ball back, and Ipswich had committed men forward, and all of a sudden Garnacho was able to pick the ball up just inside his own half and almost had a clear run through, and just as he looked to poke the ball across to Marcus Rashford for what would surely have been a tap-in, Cayosta gets back with a timely intervention. Ipswich leave themselves a little bit open there. It's a United corner. Eriksson will take one hand up, plays it in to Bruno Fernandes, who knocks it back to Eriksson with a bit of angle, curls a dangerous ball in, but Muric claims Evans sort of accidentally fell on Muric, who then took offence to it. It was a decent ball in by Eriksson. He actually didn't get any runners in front of the goalkeeper. He was able to bring it in comfortably. Here's Mazraoui to Casemiro, slides it across to Bruno Fernandes, who's got a bit of space ahead of him. Slides it in, plays a nice 1-2 to Rashford, and Bruno Fernandes shoots. Good block by O'Shea on that occasion. Bruno Fernandes finding space with the ball in an attacking position for the first time of the match, really. Played a nice 1-2 with Rashford on the edge of the box. It's about stretch, slightly stretch for it with his left foot, Bruno Fernandes, and Manchester United are going to make a double change here. Luke Shaw and Manuel Ugarte are coming on. Johnny Evans and Casemiro are making their way off the pitch. So perhaps a change in shape for Manchester United here. Maybe we'll see whether maybe Shaw will go in as a left-sided centre back, or whether they'll drop down. It certainly looks like Shaw, Delict and Mazraoui are still a back three, so it's not staying the same. Ugarte has just gone in to sit alongside Eriksen, filling where Casemiro was. I'd be surprised if maybe Dalot or Mazraoui were the next change for Manchester United if they do decide to change shape in this match. But that's the first changes. Perhaps quite telling from the Manchester United point of view that they've made them changes just 10 minutes or so into the second half. Diallo is held by Davis, much to the frustration of home fans. The referee blows his whistle for a free kick. His 7th appearance in the Premier League, 4th time to come off the bench. For Luke Shaw, close injury hit. It's his first appearance of the season. The Manchester United manager going to have played under England international. Certainly at the moment just looks like United shaping up similar to how they were before the changes, just like for like for the time being. Shaw plays the ball back to Onana, who United have to thank for being still on level terms with 2 fine saves he's made. Diallo, might have conceded a throw in there. I think Davis probably conceded that himself, really. I think he could appeal for that. Might well have gone in Ipswich's favour. As it is, Mazraoui digs out a ball to Dallo, who cushions a header down for Bruno Fernandes, who plays it back to him down the line. It's a bit too close to Twanzebe though, and the Congo-born defender is able to pass it back to his goalkeeper. And here comes now Twanzebe, passes inside to Sam Morsey, who's been industrious for Ipswich this afternoon. Towards Davis. Diallo tracking back. He's having to do probably more defensive work than he would like. Diallo, he's certainly doing more defensive work than he is attacking in this match so far. Manchester United on the ball. It's generally all in their own half at the moment. They can't seem to get past the Ipswich press. Ugarte gets his first touch of the ball. Diallo immediately has Davis for company. United concede the ball, and Davis, under pressure from Diallo, lets the ball run out for a throw-in. Straight to O'Shea as they try to get beyond halfway line. So Ipswich will bring it forward. That's a poor pass from Karius and force Davis to do some work. Diallo's done well to win the ball back. He then tries to flick round the corner for Fernandes that he didn't quite pull off. Perhaps after an hour here, Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1, remember him. You can perhaps see what a job he's got on his hands. Because you'd have to say Ipswich Town have edged this match. It's 1-1, it's still anyone's game. ball poked away from him by Luke Shaw. You'd have to say probably is more likely to be able to stick with Hutchinson than say Evans was in the first half. Also under pressure, digs the pass out to Burgess, who protects his goal kick from Garnacho. Muric kicks it long, and Mazraoui will bring out the find Diallo. Just can't get away from Davies though. Whenever he gets the ball, Diallo Davies is onto him. Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. It's a cagey period of the game, this. It's nice, as I say, having a look at the ball, but almost exclusively in their own half. Here they come now across the halfway line with Diallo. Garnacho or Rashford trying to play the ball off of Garnacho, and there was too much on it. For the first time, United broke the press of Ipswich there, and then they just couldn't make it stick. They'd almost done the hard bit. And then Rashford's pass back to Garnacho was too heavy. Shaw plays it back to Andre Onana. To the right. Pressure from Schmosdic. Throwing deep in his own half for Diallo. So we can now have a word with Chapman on the bench. Maybe he might be someone to come on and freshen things up for Ipswich. This game goes on at 1-1, the more they'll fancy snatching a winner. And as I said earlier, win takes them out of the relegation zone. They cuff the ball up here, but it's a poor pass, and Bruno Fernandes turns around in frustration with the poor execution of that pass by Ugarte. Just got in there, cleared the ball away. Onana, 20 yards out from goal, he's looking for options, but can only find one sideways to Luke Shaw. Yes, Kieran McKenna might be reluctant to make a change just because he'll almost feel like Ipswich have got a stalemate here against Manchester United. United just can't get through them. They're set up at the moment, of course. He changed my press as Onana is put under pressure by Delap. Passes sideways to Shaw. Shaw clips up the line. Rashford is caught on his heels by O'Shea. O'Shea wins a free kick. Free kick taken again. Ipswich might load some men in the box here from this position. It's Nardis who inside the right touchline. In fact, they're going to make the changes first here, Ipswich, and Sam Smosdic is going to come off and be replaced by Jack Clark. And the other change is Jack Taylor. He's coming on for Kayust. It's Kayust in the midfield, so double change to freshen things up. Clark, former Sunderland man, started 10 of the previous 12 Ipswich games in the league, but on the bench on this occasion. He'll go in on the left hand side, no doubt replacing where Smosdic had been fairly effective. Taylor, another Ireland international in this squad, will place most in that midfield. He's not actually started a game in the Premier League yet. His previous 6 appearances all off the bench. Diallo goes down tight to the right touchline. Nothing in that. I think he probably could have avoided it if he'd have tried. And it's now Manchester United's turn to make a double change, because Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee are getting ready to come on, and this will presumably lead to some change of shape for Manchester United when this change is made. Play goes on for the time being. Ugarte cushions the head down for Bruno Fernandes. Now Ericsson tries to flick it forward for Rashford, who's putting a frustrated figure up front at the moment. Whether he will be sacrificed or whether he'll be part of whatever the new system would be for Manchester United, as Hutchinson charges down Shaw's clearance, and Ipswich have won the ball back in the final third here. Hutchinson can't quite keep it alive for his teammate Dallow nips and wins the ball back. And he takes no chances with a clearance, and that's good play by Garnacho, and Fernandes flicks on first time for Rashford, who's got space in behind. O'Shea follows him across. Rashford shows a bit too much of it to O'Shea, but O'Shea can only knock it out for a corner. Good quick transition from United there. Fernandes with the first time pass through to Rashford. And we'll be looking over to the touchline now to see whether he who's going to come off. It's going to be Christian Eriksen who comes off to be replaced by Zirkzee. And it is Rashford who's going to make way for Rasmus Højlund. Both players make their way off over the sidelines, going over to the centre. It's an opportunity this for Manchester United. Zirkzee and Højlund straight into the box to maybe have a telling contribution within seconds of coming on. We'll see. Fernandes stood over the corner on the United left. It'll be an in-swinger. Garnacho threatens to go short. Fernandes plays it into Shaw, who knocks it back to Fernandes. Fernandes clips it in. It's a deep cross in. Ugarte's under the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper spills it on Ugarte's back. And then it is cleared. The most convincing goalkeeping we've ever seen. And United have have a couple of their corners from that side so far, just creating a bit more of an angle for the taker. But still, you have to say, Muric hasn't had a save to make in the match, the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. Had a couple of moments, but only a couple really. Garnacho at the very start of the second half, I suppose you'd maybe credit Muric for the save there. I'm not sure that it was a pullback and a shot, but the goalkeeper had to get his hand in as Clark puts Mazraoui under pressure. He's done well in the end, Mazraoui, and now he slides it forward to Højlund, who has his first touch, and he's running towards the edge of the box, and it opens up for a shot, doesn't it? He decides to pass. It's come out to Ugarte, who now finds Garnacho. He's got Dallow to his left, who he finds. With Luke Shaw, do you think Højlund might have had a shot from that position, bearing down onto the edge of the box? United still have possession in the final third, and they've not had a great deal of the ball in the Ipswich half in the second. They've had a lot of the ball in total, Manchester United, but not in Ipswich's half of the field. So that's what they're trying to do here. They're just, the stats, 56% possession so far. United, that's a poor pass from Zirkzee. They lose possession. Diallo will try and win it back. Now Clark puts it back to Burgess, who slides a clever pass up the line to Delap, who's certainly working the United centre halves. The proper centre forward, the old school centre forward, Delap, who's only 21 and of course came through the ranks at Derby and Man City. Hull City in the Championship last season. That's a foul by Twanzebe on Garnacho in the centre circle. Sam Morsey wasn't too happy with that was given, but I don't think the referee had much choice. "20 minutes to go then. Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1. Given how it started with Marcus Rashford's goal after 81 seconds, I think Amarim will be a bit underwhelmed by how this first game in charge has gone, but there's still time for it to end with victory. Ipswich will be thinking the same, no doubt, as Delap nips it away from Shaw, and now Hutchinson leaves it for Delap, who's driving forward. He might shoot Delap, he does, but he slices through it. Onana watches it sail wide, but just strong Delap. He got through the challenge of Ugarte and Shaw there, but it was a bit of a wild shot. His eyes lit up when it opened up in front of him. Might have been better than leaving the ball to Hutchinson and then finding his way into the box. Again, Manchester United have the ball in their own half. Mazraoui has to go long. Xerxes flicks it on for Hoyland, who tries to turn Burgess. Burgess has got all hold of Hoyland. It's a cheap free kick to concede, and it gets Manchester United out of their own half, which they've been struggling to do with the ball in this second half. It's in the second half, although overall percentage Manchester United had 57%, in the second half Manchester United had 73% possession of the ball. I'd like to see the stats on how much of that has been in their own half, because I'm sure plenty of it has been, as Ugarte looks it back to De Ligt, to Luke Shaw, to Dallow on the left hand side. Onana will go long looking for Garnacho. Swansea was all over the back of Garnacho, but just putting the ball in, just to assess how it looks like United are playing. Maybe Xerxes and Garnacho have pushed on a bit to be alongside or just behind Hoyland. Fernandez dropping back next to Ugarte. Central midfield, it looks by the stationing of Diallo on the right hand side as Xerxes is giving the ball away. Mazraoui wins it back momentarily, but then Delap hands the ball off to Taylor. Now Hutchinson back into Taylor. He's looking to give it back to Hutchinson. It rolls through to Sam Morsey, and Ipswich might feel like they can build something here and create a chance. Swansea, pressure from Garnacho, going to force back though Ipswich here. Loose pass from the substitute Taylor. Garte's on the floor, but Fernandez is in possession. He clips a nice ball down the left hand side to Garnacho. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Swansea comes across, but Garnacho's got him one-on-one. Backs him into the penalty area. Garnacho left foot all right across the face of goal. Put it in there for Manchester United, or rather nobody within range of the cross. Both Hoyland and Xerxes were hovering, but he had Swansea where he wanted him. Garnacho there, and I don't think he's put it into a terrible area, to be honest. Cross goal, but there's nobody attacking it in the United red, and goes all the way through for a throw-in to Ipswich Town. Davis will take up the line, looking for Delap, who shrugs off Mazraoui. Mazraoui gets back at him. Got a little bit of handbags towards the end of the first half with them two. Delap will be pleased with his performance, if a little disappointed he's not been able to convert two golden opportunities he's had, both denied by excellent stops from Andre Onana. He might well win Manchester United's man of the match as a result of that. Oh, Xerxes put Davis under pressure. Muric hesitates and in the end makes the right decision. He's actually done really well, Muric, because he cleared the ball and he actually hit the linesman, which meant that United couldn't get a quick restart. I'm not saying he deliberately targeted the linesman, but from where he was initially, Muric, he had to commit and clear the ball out for a throw-in, hit the linesman, and it just meant that when United tried to restart it, they couldn't because there was another ball on the pitch. Here they are now with Diallo. Xerxes goes towards the corner. Xerxes wins a throw-in. Certainly look at the size of Xerxes and you look at him and think the lap. It's a foul given against Manchester United there. Delap, and put them two side by side. Delap's impact, how he plays, far superior to Xerxes at the moment. Xerxes arrived at Old Trafford in the summer, and of course under a different manager who's now got to impress. But Ipswitch international. He's part of a very good Bologna team who did really well in Serie A last season. Just not quite happened for him at Manchester United yet, as Fernandes puts the ball out wide left for Garnacho. Twanzebe comes across to Garnacho. You think about running at him, then goes back. There was a good covering from Burns. Here's Ugarte out to Dallo. Luke Shaw. Garnacho. You'd sense one goal would be enough for either side to win this match the way it's gone in this second half. Will there be one in this final quarter of an hour? Bruno Fernandes plays it into Xerxes. A little bit of space between the lines. He might have a shot from here. Xerxes opens up for him. They almost willed him to have a shot, and Xerxes' shot is a good 7 or 8 yards over the crossbar. It's a rather laboured shot, to be honest, because they just opened up for him. Clear shot, there was no real pressure on him. Couldn't find the target. There's one sat by Munich, Xerxes. Munich did actually make a few quid off his various transfer moves. They had a sell-on fee. Sell-on clause, I should say. There's Garnacho, who starting to see a bit more of the ball and finds Dallo on his left-hand side, who pokes through again looking for Garnacho. Dallo goes down seeking a foul, nothing's given. Burns goes up the line, Dallo's still down. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Slides out right to Diallo. Dallo's back on his feet on the far side, but struggling a little bit. Fernandes wants to run forward, finds Højlund, who tried to play a 1-2. Fernandes has gone down and got a free kick. In a good position. Certainly Højlund has looked the lively of the Manchester United substitutes. He's got in front of his man and tried to lay the ball off there, but Fernandes had been blocked off by Morza trying to get back for the 1-2. So it's just a free kick that Manchester United have got here, and it's just to the right of centre, 25 yards out from goal. Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo are stood over it at the moment. Juric is measuring out a 4-man wall. A bit further out than 25 yards, maybe. Just to the right of centre. He's taking a few steps back as Bruno Fernandes now. 4-man wall. That's the perfect distance from goal. Fernandes shoots. And the goalkeeper, I think, had it covered. It goes just wide of his right-hand post. Once again, like we saw with the free kick in the first half, deciding to go to the side of the wall rather than try and get it up and down. Still, Muric's not troubled, and as I said, only really that half chance for Garnacho at the start of the second half. The only time really Muric has had to put in a telling contribution in this football match. Ipswitch looking at going a third game unbeaten if they can hold on here. I think we're looking at the fixture at the start of the year. I think they probably would have took a point at home to Manchester United if it was on offer. Although, given how the first half went, they might have fancied a few more, whereas Mazraoui has gone down a bit head contact there, so the referee immediately stops the game. Minutes ago, which was Town 1, Manchester United 1. Still anyone's game. Bit of a stalemate at times in the second half. United have made them changes. Højlund and Xerxes Ugarte, Luke Shaw all coming on. Ipswich made a couple of changes themselves with Taylor and Clark entering proceedings, but it's not really changed the balance of the game so much. So we're still receiving treatment. There's going to be another change here for Ipswich Town. On comes Ali Al-Hamadi. And he's replacing Liam Delap, who's had an excellent game leading the line for the home side. Connor Chaplin is also going to come on. He's going to replace Wes Burns. So some fresh legs for Ipswich going into this final 10 minutes. And that's got a goal to his name for Ipswich, albeit it came in the EFL Cup this season. Joined in January from AFC Wimbledon. He plays for Iraq at international level as well. Still we're waiting for play to resume. Treatment going on here. United in Europa League action on Thursday night, then they play Everton a week today, and then it's a trip to Arsenal a week on Wednesday. So the game's coming thick and fast as play finally gets back underway. Hoyland tries to hold up the ball ahead of O'Shea. That's a nice touch from Hutchinson. Plays off to Morsey and back to Hutchinson, who's putting a little bit of pressure. Comes back up to Twanzebe. He'll be forced all the way back to Muric, the goal kick. He's hurried into a first time punt upfield. It falls for Fernandez, who beats Jack Clark to the ball. Now Masraoui, who had extended treatment there but was fine to continue. Fernandez clips into the right channel for Hoyland. The flag stays down. Enough space to retrieve possession. Hoyland backwards goes to Diallo. Chaplin leading the Ipswich press. They've done that well. They've not allowed Manchester United to break through them in this second half so much. Ugarte with a nice pass out wide to Dallo to Garnacho. O'Shea covers and actually does well, O'Shea, because he played the clearance off Garnacho. It's back to Muric, the goalkeeper. Twanzebe keeps it all down the right hand side for Hutchinson to chase. Dallo has to get back and clears the ball out only as far as Chaplin, who just can't bring it in, and Masraoui pounces on the loose ball. He'll stride forward to Hoyland, who lays it off for Ugarte. Xerxes making a run through the middle. Hoyland's got space on the right hand side. Garnacho will look to find him. It's a nice ball from Garnacho, but too close to Muric, who positioned himself well near the penalty spot. Marked up for him. Chaplin lays it off to Morsey. Probably won't be far off Ipswich. Ipswich is man of the match. Both, I think, Hutchinson and Delap have had good games as well, but Morsey's held it all together in the middle. Muric goes long from inside the goal. Al-Hamadi have his first chance of competing with Delap for the ball. Delap won that one easily. And Twanzebe. Burgess for him, second space to travel into. He slides a nice pass into Clark. Clark gets away from one, gets away from two. And then the referee says there was a foul by Masraoui. be a chance for Ipswich to get something in the box in the late stages. Good play from Clark, who from the substitution United preparing another sub of their own here. Mason Mount is going to come on to replace Alejandro Garnacho. Number 7 is now on the pitch. Not committed too many men forward for this, but I'm sure Davis will clip it into the penalty area. Jack Saylor joining the gang of players stood on the edge of the penalty area at the moment. Davis plays it short to Clark. Clark plays it across to Moores. It was a wild pass, and Moores, he can't bring it in first time. Ugarte puts him under pressure. O'Shea's done really well to dig out past to Hutchinson on the right hand side. Mazraoui's followed him over there. Hutchinson puts it inside of him. Mazraoui's not giving up on it and wins the ball really well. He had to. Hutchinson was asking questions there of the United defence. Matt has his shirt pulled by O'Shea. Nothing given. Chaplin, lovely ball in towards Clark. He can't quite get a contact on it goalwards. He brings it down though and pulls it back, and Chaplin doesn't get the power on it. I think Al Hamidi might have got in his way. It was a comfortable save for Onana, but it was a great ball by Chaplin initially to Clark. He just couldn't quite get there to get a first time shot on it, instead had to bring it down, and then when the ball worked its way back into the box by Clark, Chaplin, I think he had a clear enough view of that to get a better shot away than he did. He seemed to suggest that Al Hamidi got in his way, but half a chance that for Ipswich Town towards the end of this match. Here's Al Hamidi now holding the ball up away from Dillick, goes down it very easily. Referee tells him to get up. Now Hoyland drives the ball forward, shows too much of it to O'Shea. Now Mount finds Bruno Fernandes. Dallow's making a run forward. Fernandes passes it out left to Hoyland. Xerxes in the box. Fernandes is joining it. Still Rasmus Hoyland clips up slightly awkwardly to Fernandes, who heads. Well, it would have been very difficult for him to get any sort of power on that header. Now Al Hamidi putting Dillick under pressure on the halfway line, and he's all on his own. Al Hamidi means it's simple for Dillick to rescue the ball and pass it back to Onana. To Mason Mount. Final 2 minutes of this match. Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1. Sloppy from Dallow. Ugarte misses out. It's equally sloppy from Chaplin. Just a bit rushed in his pass there as he tried to find Al Hamidi. Ugarte to Luke Shaw. Is there another goal in this match? 1 after 81 seconds through Marcus Rashford, and then Mari Hutchinson 2.5 minutes before half time. Katie in the second half at times. Andre Onana made 2 excellent saves from Liam Delap will ultimately earn Manchester United a point if the score stay like this, and for Ipswich a second 1-1 draw in 3 games, but they got eyes on making it back-to-back 2-1 wins. Of course, beat Tottenham in the last game. Swansea plays it down the line. It's a tip by Fernandes. Swansea lets it go out for a throw-in. With a throw midway through the Manchester United half. Throws down the line for Hutchinson. Hutchinson stood up by Dallow. Clips a left-footed ball in towards Al Hamidi. It's a bit high. Diallo with an awkward header. Slight confusion almost between Onana and Mazraoui. Eventually Onana did claim it and keep it in. Prevented the corner. Xerxes being followed by Burgess, plays it back to Onana, has to play it first time up to Hoyland. Does mark just enough to put off O'Shea from his clearance. 4 minutes added on, signalled by the 4th official. Flaps of encouragement from both managers. Maybe both sense there might be a goal in this injury time. Certainly one goal you'd feel would win this game. Thought it for most of the second half, but certainly now with just over 3 minutes to go of that added on time. Shaw slipping past and sent by Twanzebe. Now Moores, it finds Hutchinson, plays it safe to Twanzebe. Al-Hamidi holds the ball up well, finds Clark. Best first touch by Clark, his second touch was too heavy too. That was a pass out right to Gamble with a bit of a Hollywood ball there because of his poor first touch. The ball is back with Andre Onana. Hoyland will give chase. Forces a slice clearance from O'Shea. O'Shea wants a free kick, nothing forthcoming. Hoyland's gone to fetch the ball that was cleared out. In the meantime, Diallo's thrown one of the balls of the multi-ball system into the field, and Manchester United are getting on with it. Shaw slides it out to the left to Mount, now to Ugarte. Hoyland's in the middle. Ugarte, the best pass you've seen, but it finds its intended target, Diallo, albeit probably 5 or 10 yards further back than he would have liked it. Ipswich got every man behind the ball. Shaw, Ugarte looking forward, looking to see what he can find and push into the penalty area. Nice route. On the Diallo to his right, gone back to the other side with Shaw. Now Diallo tight to the left touchline. Manchester United building for what will be a very late winner here. Ugarte finds Diallo. He set up the first goal. He's backing in his man. He goes into the box. Diallo's still going. He's travelled a long way. He hits it left footed. It's blocked. Good block by Burgess. Diallo got a bit of momentum up there, cutting inside. And Ipswich clear their lines. Onana, a good 35 yards out of his goal, finds Mazraoui. Ipswich, to be fair, have come out well and are pressing Manchester United in their own half again now. Shaw clips the ball at the line to Hoyland, who's running the channel since he come off the bench. O'Shea's followed him. Hoyland goes on the outside of him, and Hoyland forces a corner. This might well be the last chance of the match. We've got just over a minute left of injury time, and Manchester United have a corner. It's only their third of the afternoon. The previous two they've played short to give more angle, but Fernandes is going to curl this one in direct. Manchester United launch one late attack. Mount gets a tough challenge from Burgess. Diallo keeps it in on the near side, slides it across to Mazraoui. Now to Diallo. Encouraging his men forward, but I don't think they're going to have the time. The referee stops and blows the whistle, and indeed that is full time at Portman Road. So Ruben Amorim's spell in charge of Manchester United starts with a draw at Ipswich Town. It could have been so much more because they scored within 81 seconds of his first game. Marcus Rashford tapping home from Amad Diallo's cross. But the home side acquitted themselves well, especially in the first half. They got an equaliser 2.5 minutes before half time through Amari Hutchinson, who curled a lovely left foot shot into the top corner via a touch from Mazraoui. In the second half, United had a lot of the possession without really creating a great deal, other than a Garnacho attempt in the very first minute of the second half. It was Andre Onana who was the busier of the two keepers. He saved point blank from Liam Delap after a cross from the right. He also made a save, a wonderful save in the first half with his right arm to deny Delap from 8 yards out, where perhaps the former Man City man could have done better. So probably still more questions than answers when it comes to this Manchester United squad for Ruben Amorim after that first game. But the final score at Portman Road, Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Has been excellent, and I think the one thing obviously it's missing is consistency at this level, which is always the most difficult thing, and also home win. They're still the only team in the Premier League not to win a game at home this season, and they're going to have to win games at home to keep them in the league.
QPR and Morecambe, the only two other teams in the Football League without a home league win, but Mark's right, in the Premier League, that is where Ipswich stand at the moment. I think the important thing for Ipswich today, Aaron, was the international break didn't come at a great time for them, because obviously they got that first win of the season at Tottenham and played really well. I think what Kieran McKenna will be delighted about here is the response to going behind so early against a Manchester United team clearly lifted by the arrival of the new manager. The football they played again that they always play, that they've been playing for the last 3 seasons. So I just think he'll be really encouraged that they've actually sort of picked up from where they left off. I think that's a decent point for Ipswich Town. I mean, next up for them, no easier really. They go to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, that will be a tough one for Manchester United. It's Bodo Glimt in Europe on Thursday evening. We'll have updates of that into 5 Live Sport as we bring you Spurs against Roma. Earlier on 5 Live, we brought you the news. Steve Cooper sacked by Leicester City after winning just 2 of his 12 Premier League games in charge. Liverpool, meanwhile, they're 8 points clear at the summit of the league after coming from behind to beat Southampton by 3-2. Leeds United are top of the Championship after a 4-3 victory at Swansea City. Chelsea, meanwhile, extended their lead at the top end of the WSL, beating Manchester United by 1-0. England and Scotland won their final matches of the Autumn Nation Series, and Max Verstappen won his 4th Formula 1 world title in Las Vegas this morning. All of the action, you can watch it all. BBC One, 10:35 tonight. Match of the day 2. But up next, have your say with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606. The number to call, 08085 909 693. They come after the latest news with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Aaron. Good evening. A body has been found in the search for a dog walker who went missing yesterday as Storm Bert continues to cause disruption across the UK. There are more than 100 flood warnings still in place in England, Scotland and Wales. North Wales police say the body was found in Trevorrow, where 75-year-old Brian Perry went missing yesterday. Well, yellow warnings for wind and rain are in place for western parts of Scotland and Wales, South East England and Northern Ireland. In London, all the royal parks have been closed because of severe wind gusts. In other news, a number of senior religious figures say they're deeply concerned by a bill to legalise assisted dying in England and Wales. They're warning a right to die could lead to vulnerable people feeling they have a duty to die. Supporters of the bill say it includes safeguards. And the Israeli military has apologised to the Lebanese army for an airstrike that hit a military post, killing 1 Lebanese soldier and wounding 18 others. Israeli forces are fighting Hezbollah in the area and say the group has fired about 250 rockets today, causing injuries and damage.
Britain is facing a scams epidemic. In an in-depth new podcast, we explore what's going on we look at the anatomy of a scam with the victim of a deep fake investment scam which manipulated my own face.
You go over and over and over why you allowed this to happen, and you can't come to any conclusion.
I'm Martin Lewis, and I want to try and stop other people falling into the same trap. I'll be putting questions to the police, to the regulator Ofcom, and to the head of fraud at Santander.
He said, Dad, you need to go to the police, this isn't right.
That's The Scam Epidemic, a Martin Lewis podcast special.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Are you ready to have your say in the UK's biggest football debate? Your teams, your views. Get ready. This is 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on 5 Live.
Welcome to 606. This is your football phone-in show, the number one football phone-in in the UK. Call us now on 08085 909 693 as Ruben Amorim era at Manchester United is up and running.
Cross comes in. Oh, Rashford's there. I don't believe it. Under Ruben Amorim, Manchester United. It's taken them under 2 minutes to score that first goal. Burns on his right foot, slides it to Hutchinson. Hits the shot, deflected, and finds the top corner. And Ipswich Town have their equaliser, and Portman Road erupts.
Christopher, it's early days, but what did you make of Ruben Amorim's Manchester United?
I thought, honestly, Rob, that Manchester United were lucky to get a point. Great start for him. This isn't on Amorim. This is on the players which he has to deal with. I mean, it's a nightmare of a job as far as I can see, and he needs time. The Tractor Boys were the better team, deserve to win.
Manchester United fans, what did you make of your new manager's first game? Ipswich fans, can you stay up? Call us now on 08085 909 693. Earlier on, Salah was the saviour against the Saints.
Is this the moment? Oh, it's a brilliant goal. It's genius from Mo Salah. That is magic. Up he steps and scores. It's a brilliant penalty. And the shirt comes off from Mohamed Salah. And from 2-1 down, they're 3-2 up.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Call free 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. Visit bbc.co.uk/5live terms for our terms of use and privacy notice.
Southampton play well, Christopher, but Liverpool came back from 2-1 down and are now 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Is it their title to lose?
Ooh, I think we'll find out a little bit more next week. They play Manchester City, but it sort of is, isn't it? I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan, you couldn't have seen this start coming, or could you?
Liverpool and Southampton fans, we want to hear from you. The number to call is 08285 909 693. Who else do you hear from tonight, Christopher?
Leicester City fans from your old club. I mean, what on earth is going on there? Sacked Steve Cooper this afternoon after 12 Premier League games, sitting 16th in the table. I think they've had an okay start. And I said in the trail, Rob, what about the people who conducted the interview process for Steve Cooper? Why aren't they sacked, Rob? Want to hear from Leicester fans. Also want to hear from Leeds United fans. Top of the league, thrilling game against Swansea, winning in injury time, a Nonto goal. Were you there? You must be excited about your team. Wasn't on the show last night, Rob. Spurs and Ange Ball. I mean, you must have been in awe of that performance, Rob.
Brilliant.
Yesterday,
from Spurs,
unbelievable.
from Ange Ball.
Postecoglou, brilliant for the Premier League. Box office, Rob. We need Ange Postecoglou in the Premier League, and want to hear from Rangers fans north of the border, right? We're not even in December. 11 points behind Celtic. I mean, it looked to me like a lot of the Rangers fans could not be bothered to go and watch their team with a pathetic draw yesterday against Dundee United. Is it time up for Philippe Clement?
So what do you mean, a pathetic draw against Dundee United? And Dundee United very good?
The performance, Rob. The
Where
performance
Dundee United
the
fourth?
Rangers fans
Third v
expect
fourth?
far better.
Yes, it was 3rd v 4th.
I'm just saying, Rob, it was a poor performance once again.
Okay, whoever you support, we're here till 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure you get your calls in now. The number to dial is 08285 909 693.
Just a quick one, Rob.
Missed you last night,
Yeah,
missed you.
I missed you too.
Roman. Roman.
Roman. Sorry, Roman. Dear me. Dear me. He didn't even know his name. That is so rude.
He was brilliant last night. Yeah, apologise, Roman. Yeah. I was just thinking of Ruben Amorim. Yeah.
No, and just on your old club, Leicester City, you going to chuck your hat into the ring there?
Well, listen, I haven't got my pro license yet, Christopher. So I've got to do my A next.
It's not a no then. It's not a no. Who do you think should get the job then?
I think it will be Graham Potter or Ruud van Nistelrooy. If you think Leicester played Manchester United twice under Ruud van Nistelrooy. So, the 4 games Ruud had, 2 were against Leicester, 1 in the league, 1 in the cup, Christopher. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy or Graham Potter. I think it's harsh, though, 12 games. I think it's harsh.
And coming from a guy who sacked many a manager, if you think it's harsh, it is harsh. I do not understand. Maresca went to the end of last season. Cooper comes in. And look, I mean, you wouldn't say that he's spent a couple of quid, but I think they lost the best player in Dewsbury Hall, going off to Chelsea. They've had an okay start.
Yeah.
So what on earth was the thought process in terms of getting Steve Cooper in if you're going to give him the second? What do Leicester City fans expect them to be in the top half, pushing for a top 6 place? I don't get it, Rob.
08285 909 693. Artem, you're a Manchester United fan. What do you make of Ruben's first performance?
Hello, Chris. Hello, Robbie. My first initial thought, I think Van Nistelrooy wins this game. I think players today didn't know what Ruben wants from them. I think that the style, the commentators on BBC Radio 6, they were saying they saw Ruben's play and what
Radio
he
5
wanted them to do. No, sorry, Radio 5. Yeah, sorry. But I don't think they did. I don't think there was a style of play. I don't think there is consistency. But at the same time, I think we have to stick with the coach. Because
of course you do. He's only been in a game. I mean, that's that's good. You're showing a bit of faith in him after 190 minutes.
Yeah, I was just a bit, skeptical about this appointment, to be honest with you. But I warmed up to him when he said that it's going to be my way on and no other way. So I think he's trying out the team. He's trying out the players. He see who will suit his tactics, who will suit his style of play, and we will go from there.
So what is your expectation this season then, Artem? Because I don't know what you think, Rob, as well. But I don't see this Manchester United squad in its current form and with the players he has at his disposal pushing for a Champions League spot.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would agree with you. I'm pessimistic about the performance of this team, and as I said before, and I think it's mostly because he will not have enough money. Like United already said, we're not going to spend a lot this mid-season transfer window. So he will not have a lot of money to spend. He will not have a lot of players to bring under his management. So we just have to hope that it's going to be okay. But I don't think we're challenging Champions League spots this season.
Artem and Chris, I was looking forward to watching Manchester United today in the 3-4-3. The player in that system I don't think it suited was Garnacho as one of the 10s. I don't think it suited his style of football. Yeah. I think it suits Rashford as the 9. I didn't think it suited Garnacho in as a 10. I think he's better as one of the wing backs. I thought Ahmad done brilliantly well. Chris and Artem thought setting up the goal. I think it suited him. I think it suits Dalot. I think the player that doesn't suit is Garnacho as a 10.
Yep, I agree. Did you notice that Garnacho was in between? He was in between 10, then he was leaning towards the left hand again. Then he couldn't find himself on the pitch. And then look again. Then he brings Højlund and he brings Zirkzee. The 2 strikers. Zirkzee was out of place. He didn't know what to do. That's what I'm saying. That there is no structure to this team yet. I don't know why commentators were praising the team so much. I think they got lucky that Onana saved twice, and I think that's why we tied the game.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I do agree with Artem. There's been so much excitement about this disappointment, though.
One game. Yeah, but lots of players have been away on international.
If you remember back to when Ten Hag took over, it was the same. It was the same, Rob. There was a lot of excitement about Ten Hag, and of course he needs time. We just said that, but we can't get away from the fact that Manchester United have gone to Ipswich, a promoted team, and they were lucky to get away with a point.
Let's go to a team who aren't lucky this season. Arne Slot. Wow, Liverpool absolutely flying. Jamie, you're a Liverpool fan.
Hi, Robbie. How are we doing?
How are you, mate? We're flying, aren't you? Wow.
We're not doing too bad, yeah. The second and third goals today were huge for us, momentum-wise. 2-1 down, we're a bit nervous in the away and the travelling cop. But the second goal was about nothing, really. We weren't playing particularly well at that point, but the third goal as well was just momentum's huge for us, I think.
I mean, when you said you're not doing too bad, Jamie, I mean, that's an understatement, isn't it? I mean, it's an incredible start to think. How many points are you clear? Is it 8 points clear?
8
at the top.
8, yeah.
Ahead of the line, you got Manchester City next week. If you win that game, Jamie, then it is Liverpool's to lose, really, isn't it?
I think if we can beat City, I might agree with you, but still a long way to go. We've got Real Madrid midweek. For me, that's not as important as a City game. Being top of the Champions League with the new format, it's not as big for us as City is on the Sunday. But then we've got 2 tough away games after that with Newcastle and Everton. So I think, as I say, today was huge. 8-point gaps just psychologically for us, but also for other teams. I've been there so many times as a Liverpool fan. Back in the 90s, waiting for United to drop points in those days, and more recently Chelsea, then City, and sometimes an air of inevitability when one of those teams would go behind. But 2-1 down today, and half an hour to go, it didn't feel like we'd win the game. So when I say we're not doing too bad, I just mean we're not on a assured win every time. It seems to be scraping over the line in some of these games, but still take the points.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I think it's a great sign, Rob, isn't it? When you're not quite at your best, as Liverpool weren't today, but I mean, parts of the second half, they absolutely pummeled Southampton.
And listen, Chris, as a manager, and you have a philosophy and you try and stick to that philosophy. I've got no idea. Listen, Southampton did okay today. They did okay. But the goals, the first one, rolling out there, trying to play out, if you can play higher up the park, surely, why would you try and play out there against a Liverpool side who press high and the keeper rolling out there? I was bemused. I think as a manager, Chris, sometimes you can be stubborn and you can do it your way and you've got no other way. But surely against Liverpool, you have to adapt. And in that situation, just if McCarthy would have kicked the ball long, people aren't going to say we're the long ball team. It would just be in the situation of that time. Surely, I don't get it. I thought they were lucky.
So Russell Martin's getting it wrong then.
No, I'm not saying he's getting it wrong.
I'm saying just writing down Northern Premier League manager criticising Premier League manager.
Unbeaten in the league manager. Write that down as well.
7 levels below.
Doesn't matter. You got to start somewhere, Christopher. I just don't get it. If that was my team, surely
principles of play, Rob, haven't you?
Yeah, but you don't do it all the time. Surely.
Have they got a good enough squad to stay in the Premier League, Southampton?
I think they'll go down.
Yeah, I think they'll go down. But that's the point. So you're saying they need more variation, then, are you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. Do you not?
That's okay. Let's put it out
there.
Where
are they in the league? Where are they in the league?
Well, I think they're bottom, Rob.
So surely then they need more variation.
Where did you think they were going to finish, Rob?
In the bottom 3. We're not in the bottom 3.
And I think it's difficult because you have to have principles of play. He doesn't tell his players to give the ball away. And that's, it has been a theme. Let's put it out there to Southampton fans. Are you happy, Southampton fans? You can't be that happy. You're bottom of the league. But the way Russell Martin plays, does he need more variation? Is Northern Premier League manager Robbie Savage right on this one?
Hassan, how are you, Manchester United fan?
Yeah, good, gents. Chris and Robbie, I've spoken to many a times, right? And we've had a laugh and we've called for managers' heads. But right now I'm spitting feathers because I know it's the first game. But
it's a good point against Ipswich, Hassan, isn't it?
Oh, come on, mate. They played us off the park and they should have won that game, to be fair. Yeah, Chris, but listen, all those photos of winning photos that the fans have been putting up, photos of players training and smiling and all of that, and they didn't even bother to put up an average performance. It was absolutely shocking. And I know we've had the international week. I know what we're going through. I know that there are players out of form. But the only thing I would say is Amrin needs to really be tough here and start dropping players who are out of form and start making a point. Because these players have sold 6 managers down the river. And I'll tell you what, 7 or 8 of them need to go. I'd rather have Liam Delap up front than any of our strikers.
He plays for Ipswich.
No, I know, Chris, you're in a real sarcastic mood today, mate. No, I just meant I'd rather have him than spend 42.45 million on someone like Xerxes. I don't know what you think, Robbie, because it was absolutely shocking. You said that you were looking forward to watching them. So was I, and we only turned up for the first 61 seconds.
Yeah, but why were you looking forward? I think it's really interesting what you said, Hassan. About the players smiling in training and all this happiness. That with regards to Erik ten Hag, the king is dead. New manager comes in, long live the king, and what have you. The training is better and all that. But did we really, from what we've seen this season, expect this to be a Manchester United team transformed, and also the fact, Rob, you'll know better than anyone, the fact that he wants to change style. Players have been away on international break. It's impossible for him just to flick a switch. So why did we expect anything to be different?
But we expected some sort of possession. We expected fluidity. We expected something. We expected chemistry.
Especially with the boxing midfield. I'm with you, Hassan. I think the boxing midfield, that system, with the 2 6s and the 2 10s, that's why I don't think it suited Garnacho as a 10. Narrow. I think as a 4 in there, you have to try and control games, Chris. And I was surprised against Ipswich they didn't control the game in a 3-4-3 or, however you want to call the shape, a 3-4-2-1. That boxing midfield has to control the game. You'll give up chances out wide. I've tried this system, as a Northern Prem step 94 level, Chris, and it worked. But, in a boxing midfield, you have to control the game, especially against a team, like Ipswich, who are yet to win away from home. So I think Hassan has a point, but it's going to take time.
Yeah, and Hassan, what about, is Casemiro and Ericsson, do they have a future under this manager?
You read my mind.
Really?
Yeah, you read my mind. Actually, and they've been phenomenal players, so don't let me knock that. But for me, they're legless. They're not. They shouldn't be in the centre of the park. They let Ipswich through too many times. Casemiro was a bit of a Mickey Mouse today, mind the pun. But honestly, Casemiro and Ericsson do not fit into this team. Ahmed was phenomenal, but I don't know if he's going to be long term there. I think he needs type of players that he had at Sporting, and he's going to have to go into the market. But we've already spent 200 million in the last market, so yeah, it's just same old. I feel like I've just been tricked again.
What do you mean tricked?
Well, for the last 6 times, every time we've got a new manager, we talk the same talk, and then we just all fall on our faces. And I know it's the first game, we'll see, but I know.
He needs. I don't know what Rob thinks. He's a Northern Prem manager, but surely he needs a couple of windows to bring his own players in.
Yeah, well, we've done that 6 times. So, maybe get Robbie in afterwards.
Would you fancy
Hassan,
that,
thank
Rob?
you.
You've not got your pro licence, have you?
No, I've not got my pro licence. Talking about managers, Chris, 12 games in the Premier League. Steve Cooper. Matthew, you're a Leicester fan.
Yes, hello, lads.
Hello, Matthew. I mean, that's a bit of a shocker, isn't it? I mean, nobody saw this coming, really.
I would say Leicester fans saw this coming quite far away. To be honest, we're kind of surprised that the club has acted as fast as they have done, and they haven't let the same thing happen that happened 2 years ago, where we drifted all season into relegation.
Right. So just explain then what you've seen at Leicester City this season. You're a Leicester fan. You see them all the time. From the outside looking in, I think Leicester, promoted team, you've had a reasonable start to the season. Steve Cooper has had 12 games, 12 Premier League games, 14 games overall. It seems really harsh from the outside looking in that Steve Cooper is sacked.
No, I can understand why it looks harsh, because even if you ask Leicester fans, I think we would all say we're a little bit surprised based on performances that we're even on 10 points at the minute. So it's definitely the case of like performances haven't really been very convincing, mixed together with a few weird selection choices that have kind of, I guess it's forced the club to act now, possibly while they have someone lined up to replace him, I imagine.
And so, I mean, the fans didn't like Steve Cooper because of his Nottingham Forest connection. That's right, isn't it?
It was. I mean, me personally, that didn't bother me. It kind of more looked towards his time at Forest, and he kept them up that